Hello everyone, my name is Jordan, also known as X-3, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create this nice wobble. It's very gritty, very nasty, and I think you guys can put it to some good use. So I'm going to play it along with all the rest of the sounds, and then I'm going to show you guys how to create this devil. So take a listen. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is change the BPM from 120 to 127. Next, I'm going to create a combinator. Inside this combinator, I want to create a blank instance of subtractor. Subtractor is great for getting all those nice wobble sounds. So first, I'm going to go through my oscillators, 1 and 2. Then I want to go to my filter. And then finally, I'm going to go to my amp envelope and my LFO. So let's get to this. So the first thing I'm going to do with my mod wheel is just leave it alone. For the first oscillator, I'm going to change this to a, I think that's a, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like a little circle. But I'm going to leave that where it is, and I'm going to change this all the way to 16. There we go. And I'm going to change this waveform and make sure it's negative, and I'm going to turn it up to 7. And I'm going to take it down an octave and make sure it's turned on. So for this, we want to create a little bit of frequency modulation, so I'm gonna turn that up to 30. For my filter 1 frequency, I'm gonna change this to 78 and make sure it's on a low pass 24. For my amp envelope, I'm gonna throw up my decay and sustain all the way and give it a little bit of release. Next, I'm going to go to my LFO. I want to turn up the amount all the way, set it to filter 1 frequency, and for the rate, since it's not synced, the rate I set it at 82. We were almost there. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy over some notes, so that will only take a minute. Alright, so now that we have those notes, it's time to zoom out of melodic melody and zoom back into sound design. Now that we have what we want, I'm going to basically polish up the synth. So I'm going to go to my creative effects and throw in my pulverizer. I'm going to take the squash up to about 29. And that's all I basically use for this effect. Next, I want to throw on an RV7000. And we're going to use a preset. And the preset is called All the Met. We're going to use that. I'm going to take my dry wet all the way down to 15. And my decay, I'm going to leave that at 20. Let's see how it sounds. Very wide, but still not overpowering. That's what we want. Now, you can use two different ways, and I've prepped them both. You can use the echo, or you can use the digital delay line. So first, I'm going to show you what to do with the echo. Just in case you don't have the echo, I'm going to show you how to do it in digital delay line. So I'll bypass this one. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is take our time all the way down, turn on keep pitch, take it off sync, and set our right offset to 8 milliseconds. So now that the echo is out of the way, the digital delay line takes a little bit more finesse. So I'm going to set it to milliseconds instead of steps. And I'm going to change this to 70. And I'm also going to take down my feedback to about 16 and my dry wet. I'm going to take that back down to about 12. And this is the effect that you should get. So the echo does a nice job at completely removing those frequencies in between. You can get the same thing with the digital delay line, but not as clean. So you might want to use another pulverizer and narrow out the harmonics you need to move out of the way, so that way your synth can breathe. Anyways, gonna delete that. Yep. And next, what we're going to do is we're gonna get into a little bit more fun. So I'm gonna throw on Scream 4. Now for the Scream 4, what I did is that I took up the damage a little bit more, so about 66. I set the damage type to warp. And I turned my P1 all the way down. And my P2 I turned about quarter way, so around 20. And this is the effect you should get from this. If it's a little bit too distorted, you can always move this down a little bit more and move back the master. So P1 is at 0 and P2 is at 16. And I'm starting to get a little bit more stuff, so I'm gonna go up to the reverb and use my high EQ and just turn that down to negative 64. So there we go. And that's how we do for the Scream. So next, I'm gonna throw on, just for a little bit more crispiness, I'm gonna go to my Studio Effects, Creative Effects, go to my digital vocoder. I'm gonna turn it to 4 bands, turn it on equalize. Actually, not 4 bands, but all the way 512. My bad, it's actually 8. Anyways, I'm gonna turn up the shift to 32. And then next, I'm going to go to remove some of the harmonics I found that kind of overpowered the synth when it needs to be totally balanced. So I'll show you guys how to do that. The first thing we need to do with the vocoder though is turn it to equalize instead of vocode. It should sound something like this. So I changed that to 30, and to be honest, it's a little more crisp, if you can notice the difference. So I want you guys to turn down your headphones and your speakers now, because now it's going to get into the ear piercing. After I do the harmonics, then I'll give you guys the recap on what I did. Okay, so what I did with my first equalizer is I turned it on low cut. For parameter 1, I pointed it to 1.343 kilohertz, turn the gain down, Q all the way up, and that's what I'm going to do for basically all equalizers. So for parameter 2, I turned it to 4.763 kilohertz, and that's all I did. For my second EQ, turned on low cut. For P1, it's at 1.053 kilohertz, and for P2, it's at 2.026 kilohertz. So that's all I did for the M class. Next, the final piece is an M class maximizer. I want to take it off limiter, put release to auto, turn on soft clip, and take the amount to 127. And there you guys have it, your very own nice wobble. I'll check you guys out later for another synth, and then maybe some more fun stuff. So I'll check you guys out later. Thanks for subscribing. tell all your friends, and have a great day. Oh, my bad. I always forget to do this. Here we go.